Hello, I'm Rachel Mann, shamanic healer, spiritual teacher, academic social scientist, and sacred activist for peacemaking. I am here to tell you that empathy is your superpower. I speak from personal experience. What is empathy? Empathy is the capacity that many of us are born with, where we can feel, sense others' emotions, feelings, their pain. We can even feel the pain of the world, the pain of current events going on in the world. You don't even have to be born with the gift of empathy. Empathy is something that can also be developed. It really basically means I put myself in another person's shoes. I put myself in another's shoes so that I know, feel, see, sense what it is like to be them. These days, there is this narrative that empathy is weak. In fact, empathy, when we are centered, grounded, and courageous, is powerful. Empathy is a doorway into compassion. Yes, I consider them to be a little different because ultimately compassion becomes this expansive container within which we activate what Gandhi called soul force. It is a kind of raw power anchored in spirit, anchored in light, that then can move mountains, can change hearts and minds, can stop tanks, can end harm, and can inspire others to rise to the greatest, best expression of their humanity. A humanity of goodness, a humanity that is kind, a humanity that cares for others, for people, animals, for nature, and for our beloved Mother Earth. How do I know this? Because as I began to wrestle with healing my own trauma, I found myself in that place that many empaths find themselves in, that I was taking in the pain, in particular, of my mother. And in a way, my empathic gifts or skills, you might say, became very, very well developed because as a young child, I was just tuned in, right? In order to figure out what was going on with her as a means to meet her because I loved her. I wanted to please her, but I also, on some deeper level, wanted to protect myself. And then, when I got older, I went out into the world and I found myself, like many of my clients and students talk to me about, just randomly picking up other people's pain and then getting overwhelmed, or even taking in planetary pain, even the pain of wars and other harms that have taken place in the past, as if I was there in the past. And now, of course, the way the world is even more troubled, where so much harm is being done right in front of our very eyes on media, in the media, it's even more difficult. And yet here's the thing, that deep capacity to feel, that deep capacity to step into the midst of, let's call it that hardness or darkness. It is there that I began to find light. It is there that I began to find that soul force. And it was that soul force that enabled me both to transform and heal the pain I was in, but also to see it energetically, how that process ripples out through the vibrational matrix of reality. And I saw how it was and could change the world. So be uplifted as you hear these words. Trust your empathy. Recognize it as strength. And also begin to learn the tools of how to shift that into compassion, which is bigger, whereby we are not running others' pain through our own body, psyche, soul, but it is being dissolved in the great love light of the compassionate heart. May it be so. Let's go. There's no time to lose.